You are starving yourself for 16, 18, or even 20 hours a day, yet that stubborn layer around your midsection refuses to budge, leaving you frustrated and questioning if your metabolism is broken. The brutal truth is that you might be strictly adhering to the clock, but you are unknowingly triggering a biological switch that completely locks your fat cells and shuts down weight loss instantly, making all that discipline worthless. It isn't about a lack of willpower. It is about a microscopic chemical reaction happening in your blood that turns your fasting window into a storage window without you even realizing it. In this video, we are going to dismantle the single biggest misconception about intermittent fasting that is keeping you from being able to lose belly fat and achieve the lean physique you deserve. We will move beyond the basic advice of skip breakfast and expose the hidden insulin spikes in your daily routine, from your morning coffee to your supplements, that are sabotaging your fat-burning potential. By the end of this video, you will have a precise, scientific roadmap to fix your fasting routine, boost metabolism, and finally start seeing the scale drop, ensuring your effort actually translates into results. The journey to transform your body and achieve a state of profound physical health is often riddled with confusing, contradictory information that can leave even the most dedicated individuals feeling defeated, particularly when they're putting an immense effort to lose weight fast but seeing absolutely no return on that investment. When you commit to a fasting lifestyle, you are fundamentally trying to hack your biology to access stored energy, a process that is supposed to be the holy grail for slimming down and reclaiming your vitality. However, the vast majority of people who attempt this are operating under a simplified calorie-in, calorie-out model that completely ignores the complex hormonal landscape of the human body, leading to a plateau where eliminate abdominal fat becomes a physiological impossibility. The frustration that stems from this is not just physical. It taxes your emotional well-being, and often, finding the right mental health resources to cope with body image issues becomes just as important as the diet itself. You might be waking up every morning, checking the mirror, and seeing the same composition despite feeling hungry and deprived, which suggests that the mechanism of fat burning has not actually been activated. To understand why this is happening, we have to look deeper than just the absence of food and understand the binary nature of our metabolism. Your body essentially operates in two distinct states, the fed state and the fasted state, and the switch that toggles between these two is almost entirely controlled by the hormone insulin. When insulin is present in the blood, even in small amounts, your body is in storage mode, meaning it is physically incapable of breaking down triglycerides into usable energy, which is the core mechanism required to lose belly fat. Many people believe that as long as they remain under a certain caloric threshold during their fasting window, they are safe, but this is the critical error that stalls progress for years. The goal is to lose weight healthily, but if you consume something that creates an insulin response, even if it has 0 calories, you have effectively broken the fast from a metabolic standpoint. This means that your morning routine, which you believe is aiding your fitness goals, might be the very thing holding you back. We need to scrutinize every single substance that enters your body during that fasting window, because the sensitivity of this insulin switch is far higher than most people realize. It is not just about avoiding a bagel or a bowl of cereal. It is about the subtle chemical signals you are sending to your pancreas that scream food is coming, causing it to release insulin and shut the door on your fat stores. One of the most pervasive myths in the weight loss tips community is that artificial sweeteners and 0-calorie flavorings are free passes that allow you to enjoy sweet tastes without consequence. However, the cephalic phase insulin response is a real and documented phenomenon where merely tasting something sweet, be it from stevia, monk fruit, or artificial chemicals like aspartame, can trick your brain into preparing for sugar influx. This preparation involves releasing insulin, which, in the absence of actual blood sugar to manage, drives your glucose levels down and creates a hunger craving while simultaneously locking you out of the fat-burning state you are working so hard to maintain. If you're trying to eliminate abdominal fat, that splash of diet syrup in your coffee or that zero-calorie energy drink is not an innocent treat. It is a metabolic interrupter. This is why so many people struggle to boost metabolism. They're constantly keeping their insulin levels elevated just enough to prevent lipolysis, but not enough to feel full, landing them in a metabolic purgatory where they are hungry, irritable, and not losing a single gram of body fat. To truly lose weight fast and effectively, you must embrace the concept of a clean fast, which involves consuming only water, black coffee, or plain tea, devoid of any flavors or sweeteners that could trigger this hormonal cascade. Furthermore, we must address the well-intentioned use of supplements that many fitness enthusiasts rely on, such as branched-chain amino acids, BCAAs, or pre-workout powders, thinking they're protecting their muscle mass while they fast. While the intention is to build a better body, these supplements often contain sweeteners or, in the case of BCAAs, actually trigger an insulin response themselves because amino acids are the building blocks of protein, and protein requires insulin for absorption. Consuming these during your fasting window completely negates the hormonal benefits of the fast. You are essentially telling your body that you have eaten, which stops autophagy, the cellular cleaning process, and halts the oxidation of fat. If your goal is slimming and redefining your body composition, you must be ruthless with your fasting window. It is not a time for healthy hacks or low-calorie snacks. It is a time for total physiological rest from digestion and insulin production. This strict adherence is often the missing link for those who feel they have tried everything. By eliminating these hidden spikes, you allow your insulin levels to drop to their baseline, which is the only environment in which your body feels safe enough to unlock its energy reserves and burn through the adipose tissue stored around your organs. Beyond the biochemistry, there's a behavioral aspect to this dirty fasting that undermines your success. When you consume sweet taste during a fast, you're keeping your palate addicted to hyperpalatable flavors, which makes it significantly harder to stick to healthy meal plans once your eating window opens. The cravings generated by that morning artificial sweetener can lead to overeating later in the day, creating a cycle of restriction and binging that is detrimental to both your physical results and your relationship with food. True weight loss healthily achieved requires a reset of your taste buds and your hunger cues. When you fast cleanly, you will notice that your hunger actually diminishes because your blood sugar stabilizes and your body efficiently switches to using its own fat for fuel. This metabolic flexibility is the ultimate goal. It transforms you from a sugar burner who needs to eat every few hours to a fat burner who can sustain high energy levels without constant fuel intake. This shift not only helps you lose belly fat, but also provides mental clarity and stable energy that improves your performance in all areas of life, from your career to your workouts. Finally, within this first major block of understanding, we have to look at the tiny additions that seem negligible, like a splash of milk or cream in your coffee. You might think, it's only 20 calories, how can it hurt? In the context of a calorie deficit diet, it doesn't hurt. But in the context of fasting to boost metabolism and lower insulin resistance, it matters immensely. Milk contains lactose, milk sugar, and whey protein, both of which are insulinogenic. That tiny splash breaks the fasted state. If you're serious about your fitness journey and want to see rapid changes, you have to stop treating the fasting window as a time to cheat the system. The system is biological, and it cannot be cheated. Every time you introduce these small breakers, you reset the clock on your fat-burning potential. To lose weight fast, you need long, uninterrupted periods of low insulin. By cleaning up your fasting window and removing these crutches, you force your body to adapt, becoming a machine that incinerates stored energy rather than one that is constantly waiting for the next hit of sugar or pseudo-sugar. This discipline is the foundation upon which all other weight loss tips rely. Without it, no amount of exercise or eating right during your window will yield the maximal results you're capable of achieving. Even if you master the art of the clean fast and successfully navigate your morning without triggering an insulin spike, there remains a treacherous pitfall that causes countless individuals to hit a frustrating plateau where the scale simply refuses to budge. This leads us to the second critical pillar of sustainable transformation, the absolute necessity of prioritizing muscle mass to ensure you are actually achieving fat burning rather than just weight reduction. There's a massive distinction between wanting to see a lower number on the scale and wanting to change your body composition, and failing to understand this is why so many people end up with a skinny fat physique despite weeks of starvation. When you fast, your body is in a catabolic state, breaking down tissues for energy, while the primary goal is to break down adipose tissue to lose belly fat. Your body is ruthlessly efficient and will happily break down muscle tissue if it senses that maintaining that muscle is biologically expensive and unnecessary. Muscle is metabolically active tissue, meaning it requires a significant amount of calories just to exist, whereas fat just sits there. If you're not actively signaling to your body that you need your muscle, your metabolism will downregulate, and you will burn fewer calories throughout the day, making it progressively harder to lose weight fast as time goes on. The tragedy of modern dieting is that people become obsessed with the caloric deficit to the point where they neglect the nutritional density required to sustain their lean mass. If you lose 10 pounds, but 5 of those pounds are muscle, you have effectively lowered your basal metabolic rate, which is the exact opposite of what you want to do if your goal is to boost metabolism for the long term. This metabolic slowdown is the primary reason for the dreaded yo-yo effect, where people regain all the weight they lost, and often more, the moment they return to normal eating habits. To lose weight healthily, you must view muscle as your metabolic engine. The larger and more efficient the engine, the more fuel you burn even when you are sleeping or sitting at your desk. Therefore, your fasting strategy must be paired with a robust focus on protein intake and resistance training. Without this, you're fighting a losing battle against your own biology, trying to slimming down while simultaneously destroying the very machinery that keeps you lean. This requires a shift in mindset, moving away from purely restrictive thinking to a more constructive approach where you focus on fueling the body correctly during your eating window. During the hours that you are allowed to eat, your nutritional choices must be surgical in their precision. It is not enough to simply eat whatever you want just because you fasted for 16 hours. You need to implement healthy meal plans that prioritize high-quality protein sources to trigger muscle protein synthesis. This biological process is the body's way of repairing and building muscle tissue, and it is the only way to counteract the natural catabolism of fasting. If you are skipping meals and then filling up on low-protein, high-carbohydrate foods, you are accelerating muscle loss and ensuring that that stubborn layer of fat around your midsection remains strictly intact. To truly eliminate abdominal fat, your body needs to be assured that it has plenty of amino acids, the building blocks of protein, available to maintain your lean tissue. This assurance allows the body to feel safe enough to release its fat stores. Many of the best weight loss tips you will ever receive revolve around this protein-centric approach, as protein also has the highest thermic effect of food, meaning your body burns more calories digesting protein than it does digesting fats or carbs, further aiding your efforts to lose weight fast. Moreover, we cannot ignore the role of physical activity in this equation. Fasting without resistance training is a recipe for muscle atrophy. You do not need to become a professional bodybuilder but you must engage in some form of strength training to send a loud and clear signal to your body. I need this muscle to survive. When you lift weights or perform bodyweight exercises while fasting or in your eating window, you increase your insulin sensitivity, which essentially makes your body better at handling the food you do eat. This synergy between fasting and fitness is where the magic happens. It directs the nutrients you consume into your muscle cells for repair and glycogen replenishment rather than shuffling them into fat cells for storage. This partitioning of nutrients is the secret to achieving that lean, toned look rather than just looking like a smaller, softer version of yourself. It also supports your mental well-being. The discipline required for training combined with the clarity of fasting provides powerful mental health resources, reducing anxiety and building a sense of accomplishment that reinforces your commitment to the lifestyle. Many people struggle with this because they fear that eating a high volume of protein will make them bulky or kick them out of ketosis, but this is a misunderstanding of human physiology. In the context of a calorie-controlled fasting lifestyle, protein is highly unlikely to be stored as fat. Instead, it provides the satiety needed to prevent overeating. One of the hardest parts of trying to lose belly fat is managing hunger, and protein is the most satiating macronutrient. By centering your meals around lean meats, eggs, fish, or plant-based alternatives, you naturally curb cravings and reduce the likelihood of binging on sugar or processed foods. This makes the entire process of weight loss feel less like a struggle and more like a sustainable way of living. You stop fighting against hunger and start working with your body's natural signals. This approach ensures that when you do step on the scale, the weight you have lost is primarily fat, leading to a healthier, stronger, and more resilient body. It is also crucial to address the hormonal balance that muscle maintenance provides. Muscle tissue acts as an endocrine organ, releasing signaling molecules called myokines that communicate with other organs, including adipose tissue, to promote fat burning and reduce inflammation. Chronic inflammation is a known barrier to weight loss, often locking the body in a stress state where it holds on to fat as a protective mechanism. By building and maintaining muscle through proper fitness routines and nutrition, you're systematically lowering systemic inflammation, thereby unlocking your body's ability to eliminate abdominal fat. This creates a positive feedback loop. More muscle leads to a higher metabolism and better hormonal health, which leads to more efficient fat loss, which reveals more muscle definition. This is the virtuous cycle that separates those who succeed long-term from those who constantly restart their diets. As we prepare to discuss the specific foods that should enter your body first when you break your fast, you must understand that the state of your metabolism at that moment is delicate. Your body is like a dry sponge, ready to absorb whatever you give it. If you have spent your fasting window protecting your muscle and keeping insulin low, you are primed for success. However, if you have neglected your protein intake or failed to stimulate your muscles, your body is desperate for energy and will hoard nutrients aggressively. The decisions you make in the first few minutes of your eating window will determine whether you continue to boost metabolism or whether you spike insulin so hard that you instantly shut down all the progress you made during the fast. The transition from the fasted state to the fed state is where the battle to lose weight healthily is won or lost. In the next section, we will dive deep into the specific nutritional protocols for breaking your fast, the what and when that will ensure your hard-earned metabolic fire keeps burning, turning your body into the fat incinerating machine you want it to be. The defining moment that determines the success or failure of your entire fasting protocol occurs the second you decide to break your fast, a pivotal juncture where your body is most vulnerable and yet most responsive to nutritional input. After hours of abstinence, your insulin levels are at rock bottom, and your cellular sensitivity to glucose is at its absolute peak, meaning your body acts like a dry sponge ready to soak up whatever fuel you provide it with incredible speed and efficiency. This hypersensitivity is a double-edged sword. While it can be used to drive nutrients into muscle tissue for recovery and fitness adaptations, it is most often abused by those who unknowingly break their fast with the wrong foods, causing an immediate physiological backlash that halts fat burning in its tracks. The most common and devastating mistake people make is reaching for what is essentially a sugar bomb, a bowl of cereal, a piece of fruit, a smoothie, or a bagel, thinking that because they have saved up calories, they can afford the carbohydrates. However, consuming high glycemic carbohydrates on an empty stomach triggers a massive, vertical spike in blood sugar, forcing the pancreas to flood the bloodstream with insulin to manage the toxic load. This sudden hormonal surge instantly flips your metabolic switch from burning stored energy to aggressively storing fat, particularly the visceral adipose tissue that makes it so difficult to eliminate abdominal fat. You effectively undo 16 hours of hard work in 16 minutes, trapping yourself in a cycle where you starve the body only to overwhelm it, making it biologically impossible to lose weight fast or sustainably. To navigate this critical window and continue the momentum of slimming down, you must adopt a strategy that prioritizes blood sugar stabilization above all else. The golden rule for breaking a fast is to consume protein and healthy fats first, completely avoiding carbohydrates until your body has adjusted to the fed state. By starting your eating window with foods like eggs, steak, salmon, chicken thighs, or even a plant-based protein source like tofu or tempeh, you provide the essential amino acids needed for muscle repair without spiking your blood sugar. Protein triggers a release of glucagon, a hormone that opposes the fat-storing effects of insulin, while healthy fats provide a slow-burning energy source that keeps satiety levels high. This approach blunts the insulin response, keeping the curve gentle and manageable rather than sharp and chaotic. This is one of the most underrated weight loss tips in existence. By simply changing the order in which you eat your foods, you could dramatically alter how your body processes energy. When you break your fast with a high-protein meal, you extend the fat-burning benefits of the fast even after you have started eating, allowing you to lose belly fat throughout the day rather than just during the hours you are asleep or hungry. This method transforms your meals into functional tools that support your metabolism rather than obstacles that slow it down. Once you have successfully navigated that first meal and anchored your blood sugar with protein and fat, you can then strategically introduce carbohydrates later in your eating window, a concept known as carb backloading. This technique aligns perfectly with human physiology, as your body is better equipped to handle glucose after it has already been primed with protein and after the initial hunger urgency has subsided. By saving your complex carbohydrates, such as sweet potatoes, quinoa, or berries, for your second or third meal, or ideally after a fitness session, you ensure that glucose is shuttled into muscle glycogen stores to replace energy rather than overflowing into fat cells. This structure creates healthy meal plans that feel satisfying and unrestrictive while still adhering to strict metabolic rules. It allows you to enjoy the foods you love without the guilt or the negative physiological consequences, fostering a healthier relationship with food that is vital for long-term success. Furthermore, this prevents the mid-afternoon energy crash that plagues so many dieters. By keeping your blood sugar stable, you maintain consistent mental clarity and focus, which serves as its own form of mental health resources, giving you the cognitive bandwidth to make better decisions and stay disciplined. Integrating these three pillars, clean fasting without sweeteners, prioritizing muscle preservation through protein and training, and strategic meal sequencing, creates a comprehensive framework that allows you to lose weight healthily and keep it off for good. It shifts the focus from temporary deprivation to permanent metabolic repair. When you stop spiking your insulin with innocent additives during the fast, you allow your body to access deep fat stores. When you prioritize muscle, you build a furnace that burns calories around the clock. And when you break your fast correctly, you prevent the hormonal rebound that leads to fat storage. This is how you boost metabolism in a real, tangible way, not with pills or powders, but with biology. It is the difference between someone who struggles for years to drop 5 pounds and someone who systematically transforms their physique. You cease to be a slave to cravings and hunger, and instead become the master of your own physiology. This level of control is essential for anyone looking to eliminate abdominal fat, because that specific type of fat is notoriously resistant to standard calorie restriction, but highly responsive to the insulin control methods we have detailed. Ultimately, the journey to a lean, healthy body is not about finding the next quick fix, but about understanding and respecting the complex signals of your body. If you're tired of spinning your wheels and want to finally lose weight fast in a way that actually lasts, you must stop making these fundamental fasting mistakes. You need to view your eating window as an opportunity to nourish and rebuild, not just a break from starvation. By implementing these strategies, you will notice changes not just in the mirror, but in your energy levels, your mood, and your overall vitality. You will find that fat burning becomes effortless because your body is no longer fighting against you. This holistic approach is the key to unlocking your genetic potential. Take this knowledge, apply it to your next fast, and watch as your body responds with the progress you have been chasing for so long. The path to weight loss and vibrant health is open to you. It simply requires the discipline to fast clean, the wisdom to eat smart, and the patience to let your biology do the rest. There's a natural solution to speed up your metabolism, control cravings, and support your weight loss journey naturally and effectively. Click the link in the first pinned comment to start transforming your body. If you want to truly transform your body and learn how to lose belly fat healthily, don't stop here. In the next video, I'll share practical strategies and little-known secrets to boost your metabolism and keep the weight off for good. Click now and discover how to take your weight loss to the next level